Greetings everyone, my name is Etterville, and welcome back to my Let's Play of Mega Man Maker. During the last part, I covered 6 viewer submitted levels, so in this part I'll be covering at least 5 more viewer submitted levels, starting out with this one. DJHN-007 Travel Woman by Jethawk74, 6 plays and a score of 2. This is the 7th in their series of Roadmaster stages, and I already played 6 of their previous Roadmaster levels in some form or another. As always, if you want one of your levels to be featured in a part like this one, please leave both the level name and level ID either in the comment section below or direct message me on Twitter. Also, as always, the full disclaimer of this entire LP series is linked in the description below. Also in the description are the timestamps for every level that I cover in these parts, so if you want to check if I covered your level, check the description. Whole bunch of special weapons as usual. I actually had to retake and redo the intro several times because I forgot I covered several levels before, in one way or another. But this and Sub-Zero Man I haven't covered before. I'd like to see Jethawk74 incorporate the designs of these stages and remake them in Magmal 3, and actually include a custom Roadmaster. That'd be really neat to see. So far so good, we safely introduced those brain breaks over there, as well as the flying shells and Kumusa burrows. Same with these gear knights or gear riders. Just need to do a quick check over there because something went a bit awry with the controls. Apparently, if I don't select the windows, sometimes the inputs don't go correctly. Also, I should be utilizing my special weapons more here. Like for these situations. I probably should be saving up the leaf shield for something else. Okay, so far so good. I don't know why this is called Travel Woman though. I mean, we have Flashman's team, and we're taking place in Time Man's tile set combined with Elect Man's tile set, plus the background from Mega Man 2 Wily Fortress 1 Part 2, the lead up to the Mecha Dragon encounter. So I don't get the connection yet. Are we in a travel agency or something? Or are we traveling between the world and each of the countries or places is separated by a Galaxy Man teleporter? And if we're skilled enough to take the upper route, we get access to an M-Tank. But of course, if we're not skilled enough, we can always just use our special weapons to get back on track. But like all of Jethawk74's Roadmaster stages, they are all doable buster only. The extra special weapons are just there to make the situations a bit easier. Where to now? I see, this is the mini-boss fight of this stage, where we fight both a Tama and a hot dog. Fine with me. That's one way of having a mini-boss battle. But of course, the Tama is really weak against several special weapons, one of which being the brick drop. I mean, it just gets tree-shot by it. Thank you for putting a checkpoint both before and after the mini-boss encounter. Most Mega Man titles would only put it before or after, not both. So you'd either have to repeat the boss battle, or if you died to the boss fight or mini-boss fight, you would have to repeat the first half of the stage. Okay, we're outside of the travel agency or travel building, and now we're out in the field, down this cliff or mountain, with snakes and Coltons. And I see there's already 2 more series of those teleporters, so I guess we're gonna have 2 more of those random locations. I guess we're out west in the west. Okay, a bit of forced weapon usage here because we cannot make this jump. Plus I don't see any Yoko blocks either. One down, 2 to go. Now we're back in space. Well, I guess this is the Rush Jet segment, judging by the background and the fact that this looks like a bottomless pit, and I was right. Really, nothing more to say about this other than collect all the pickups, so you don't fall into the abyss there. So now we had a tight spike flying segment where we had to tread the needle, although it wasn't really that challenging after all. And apparently the leaf shields can directly eat up all the Crystal Joe shots. Okay, we're out of here, and I guess that's the boss door to Time Man. So down we go this tower and make sure not to fall into spikes. Keep holding right. Now go left, I guess. I thought there was going to be a gotcha spike on the right side, like a gotcha line of spikes, but no, it was relatively kind. Really, I have nothing more to say about the stage other than the fact that I like the aesthetics, I like the difficulty progression, and, well, I like the general theme of this stage. Although I'd like more background information about what we're actually going through. Are we going through a travel agency or something? Because the stage's title is called Travel Woman after all. And I guess we're traveling the world through those teleporters. And up there, those golden elect blocks would actually be the boss symbols, I guess. Dr. Miley's symbols. Now, time to fight Time Man. That doesn't seem to be his weakness, but he takes a bunch of damage from it. It's probably Ice Slasher. Nope. Okay, it's Dive Missile. Fine with me. Time to utilize my E&M tanks. So that was the end of Travel Woman. It was a neat traditional Mega Man level, although personally speaking, I think I liked Tough Man and your first World Master stage more than this one. Sparky Man, that's the one. Still, I'll give it a thumbs up, but I don't know what the exact gimmick of this stage is other than traversing the world. At the very least, I think that's what the gimmick was. I'm not really sure based off the tiles that were given. I would like more of a stage background on this stage, but oh well. At the very least, it was fun to go through and I would say it's par. It'd fit in as a traditional Mega Man level, maybe as a ROM hack stage. Alright, second on the lineup is the Dos Now Vale, Escolha, Qual, Dupla de Jeffy's Lutar by Lipatio, 41 plays and a score of 12. This roughly translates to English as, of two not word, choose which duo of bosses to fight. Well, at least that's what Google Translate says, but even then it sounds a bit nonsensical, so my apologies if I butchered the English rough translation or pronunciation of the original title. Okay then, so we have 6 choices. Let's fight Top Man and Fair Man first. Okay, straightforward. Omi Megabuster and Silver Tomahawk. Okay, both of their weaknesses are going to be Silver Tomahawk, I guess. Good. Watch as I die because I took too much damage there. Fighting Top Man and Fair Man here is going to be a little bit of a pain, but thankfully we have full weapon refills here, so it isn't too much of a problem. Plus we have 6 choices of bosses to choose from, after all. And I guess all of them will be weak against the Silver Tomahawk to make things a bit easier. There we go, that should end the stage now. And I killed both bosses at the same time. I deliberately tried to do so. And because of it, we hear the boss team twice, but the second time it's cut off. But of course, I need to play through the stage 5 more times to see what the other boss encounters are. And I forgot I had access to 2 E-tanks, I feel a bit stupid. Next up, Cutman and Bombman. Just for some extra challenge, I'm gonna try defeating both of the bosses at the same time. There we go. This is a rather short stage, but I do like the concept behind it. Especially because you have the choice of fighting which 2 series of bosses at a time. And 2 Mega Man just teleported out of there. I get the feeling I'm going to see a whole bunch of these funny glitches with the teleports. Next up is Iceman and Time Man. Next up, Magnet Man and Metal Man. Really, I have nothing more to say about the stage other than stating what bosses I'm going to be fighting. Because the stage's title and what we've seen so far is exactly what it says on the tin. Alright, Woodman and Heartman. I wonder what the reasoning behind each of the boss combinations are. Oh boy, combining both of them is going to be a lot more challenging because it will stun Hardman, but Woodman will be free to move around wherever he pleases. That's going to be a problem. And last but not least, I guess Bubble Man on the left, judging by the croaker. Okay, so we have Bubble Man and Toad Man. They are both the water-based Rod Masters. I guess these are grouped up by element or by game or something. And that should be the end of the stage. I gave it a thumbs up more for its fun concept, but I'd like to see this concept taken further where, instead of just immediately fighting the boss, by taking one of the teleporters you go through a stage or gauntlet that has a combination of gimmicks and stage design from the original Roadmaster stages but remade and recombined. That would be a neat stage type I'd like to see in the future, maybe even done by Lipatio. Regardless, it was fun to play through, even though some of the combinations like Hardman and Woodman were a lot more challenging than other ones. Third level on the lineup is Water Tower by MAGMAX, 13 plays and a score of 5. Both this and the next level will be by MAGMAX. In fact, they are just different versions of the same level. This is going to be V1, and the next level is going to be V2 of this entire stage. So let's see what this level has to offer. Okay, we have a whole bunch of special weapons, but our primary one is Oil Slider. So a special weapons oriented stage, we start out by surfing towards the tower, I guess. And there's me failing to jump at the right time. I was hoping I could turn around, but I forgot about the physics of the Oil Slider. Silly mistake, but it shouldn't get too bad. There we go, that's how we properly entered the tower. Oh, I see. This is what I was talking about earlier, making a more difficult version of this challenge. After all, we actually have spikes. So good to see that MAGMAX actually expanded on their ideas. Also, thanks for the checkpoint there. Really appreciate it. Now a tougher version with even tighter corridors. I'm really thankful that the oil actually can spawn in midair. I'm gonna be silent for that section because boy, that was really scary. At least it's a tougher version of the oil ride stage, at least the tower version. Unfortunately, what's happening is because of the water, it doubles Metal Man's height and slows down or halves his descent, so effectively he can throw twice the number of blades at a time. There we go. That was a rather tedious boss fight, and honestly, it was the worst part of the stage. The previous portion of the stage, just leading up to the boss fight, that was the best part of the stage, so my apologies MAGMAX, but I don't really feel too keen on giving this stage a thumbs up, especially for that rather tedious endpoint, and the fact it didn't seem to actually have the boss didn't seem to have a weakness. Anyways, let's see how version 2 of this stage changes things up a bit. Okay, Oil Slider as usual, but we have a different set of special weapons, except the Mega Buster. So I guess we first need to start out by entering the water tower correctly. And like before, I failed completely. I need to time it just right and do the double jump properly. There we go, that's how it's done. A little bit of a scary one over there. Once again, we have to use the same skills as before. A little bit more challenging because now we have conveyor belts. That was a close one. You gotta be really tight with your jumps so you don't accidentally fall into or hit a spike there. Same here, actually. Now we have more obstacles with elect beam traps. And now count bombs pointed sideways. And I guess that's the end of the stage. It's definitely a little bit of a tougher version / remake of the previous level. But let's see the moment of truth. How does the boss fight compare? And we actually have the shine, so it should make things a little bit easier, I hope. At least Iceman can only attack 3 times like before. Okay, he still takes critical damage from his ice slashers, so that's good. So that was the end of Water Tower V2. Definitely a better version than the original Water Tower. Mainly due to the end boss fight, and I like the more variety in challenges, so I'll give this a thumbs up. I wonder if there's a version 3 and version 4 out there, but guessing by the number of levels MAGMAX has put out, there is probably a version 3 or 4 out there in some form or another. 5th level on the lineup is Not an Average Kaizo Level Harakiri by Enfu. 329 plays and a score of 69. Boy, even though this is called a Kaizo level, it got a really high score. I wonder why. Okay, gyro platform, charge kick time, I guess. And immediately die because I mistimed my jumping. At least there's a 2 gap over there, it's not too bad. Okay, I made it past this segment. There's a bottomless pit down there, I'm sure of it. Nope, there are just spikes over there, just off screen. And I mistimed my jumping. And I thought there was going to be another ball dropping, but I guess it didn't come. And there's me failing to hit the button on time. This is gonna have a lot of deaths, that's for sure. Oh, and yeah, there are actually spikes down there. That's why I was able to stand on them. And clearing those spikes is also going to be a slight problem if I fail to time it correctly. Okay, I need to go down these series of spikes. I still wonder why I got such a high score. Usually stages like these get really low scores due to how difficult they are. I'm not saying it's a bad level, I'm just curious of why I got such a high score. This is not the fault of the level creator Enfu. They designed the stage for a rather particular audience. And apparently that rather particular audience really likes this type of level, judging by the high scores. Alright, here we are in the level editor. Let's see what the rest of this level looks like. Like I said, I'm kinda surprised that this stage got such a high score, but then again, it was probably submitted to a whole bunch of players who like these types of more difficult precision-based challenge levels. But of course, I'm one of those people who really isn't a fan of the more difficult ones of this variety. At the very least, there is a sense of challenge progression starting out easier than ending up a lot more difficult, and checkpoint placement is fine. Though, I would only recommend this stage for players who are really skilled, or rather skilled, with usage of the charge kick and the topspin. Otherwise, just avoid this stage. Sixth and final level of this part is Fire and Ice by Skullman, 32 plays and a score of 11. So let's see how this level compares. Most of the levels in this part don't really appeal to me. Even Travel Woman was kind of unappealing for me. So Firestorm and Ice Slasher makes sense because this is called Fire and Ice. So I guess we'll need to freeze up all these fire bars or something. That's probably it. We're first gonna have a fire segment, then later we're gonna have an ice segment or something. Now we need to fight this hot dog here, which surprisingly enough wasn't that bad either. So that was the fire segment, and now we transition outdoors to this ice segment. I'm not sure why these enemies are ice-oriented, but okay. The footholders, in particular the green ones, were introduced in Iceman's stage, so I guess it makes sense. And unlike Iceman's stage, the original, we actually have working water physics. In fact, this segment kinda reminds me of the intro of Iceman's stage. Now we're in a mix of the two, I guess. Let me go down here and see what this has to offer. Well, for doing that, we can skip the hot dog encounter. Now we need to freeze these so we can actually jump on them correctly, without getting killed. Well, that was bad. This too. Let me wait for this to unfreeze itself. There we go. I took some damage there, but it wasn't too bad. Kinda barren on the stage design, but it's fine. It's mostly challenges focusing on fire and ice-based enemies, and it is gradually getting more difficult. What with what happened over there. I know there's gonna be a secret here, and lo and behold, it's an E-Tank. Come on, please jump over me, Power Master. Not that way. Geez, the contrast difference between the red and bluish, whitish backgrounds and foregrounds is quite extensive. I do like how we switch between two different environments, though. That's also a nice way of introducing the challenges coming up, so we don't get ambushed by them. Here we go. Well, if you keep that one fireball going, we can just one-shot all those enemies, it seems. Now we have enemies from Mega Man 6, although really the shotmen over there were from Mega Man 2 anyway, they weren't from Mega Man 1. I do like the idea behind this stage, and I do like the difficulty progression. And it isn't that difficult either. You just gotta be a bit careful in some of those segments, like with the firebar segment. And segments like these, so you can actually freeze the firebars in the correct order. So you can build a platform high enough to fight the boss. Or just freeze the hot dog in midair over there, and it's no threat at all. And time to fight Iceman. Let me try something. Of course, it makes sense that Iceman would be resistant against his own weapon. I was hoping for another case of Metal Man syndrome. But of course, he's weak against the Fire Wave. Well, not the Fire Wave. I always like to call this weapon the Fire Wave, even though that's not actually the name. Anyways, I like this stage. In fact, I say that this would be my favorite level of the part. Travel Woman by Jethawk74 was definitely a more sophisticated level, but it didn't really appeal to me. And the other levels of this part were kind of more concept levels, like the ones from Lipatio and the other ones from MAGMAX. And Enfu stage definitely did not appeal to me at all due to its really high difficulty curve. So Fire and Ice wins this part's title of being favorite level. So in the next part, I'll be covering several more of your Submit levels. Well then, thanks for watching and have a nice day. Toodles!